welcome. We are here to tell you about the Grado Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. We have a number of presenters here from our department today, and we will introduce ourselves. We are all safely socially distanced in our own offices or homes, so as presenters, we'll take off our masks for the presentation. But thank you for joining us for the 2021 Engineering Open House, and we will happily tell you about our program and then take questions at the end. So first, we actually have some questions for you all. So tell us, do you want the flexibility to work in almost any industry? Do you like to find ways to do things better? Do you like math? Do you like working with people? And finally, are you interested in business and management aspects of an organization? If you answered yes to any of these, you might be the perfect industrial and systems engineer. So hopefully these questions are priming you for more to come. So we are happy to have you here with us tonight. We are going to discuss the ISE undergraduate program at Virginia Tech, including what industrial and systems engineers do. We're going to talk about the ISE community and then student opportunities. Before we jump in, we do want to introduce ourselves. I got ahead of myself there. So I'm Maggie Johnson. I'm one of the undergraduate academic advisors in the department. Dr. Van Aken, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure. I am Eileen Van Aken. I am currently the department head for the ISE department and a faculty member in the department.
Thanks. Paula?
Yeah, I'm Paula Van Curen. I'm the other ISE academic advisor in the department.
And Evelyn.
I'm Evelyn. I'm a senior in ISE and the head of recruiting for the ISE Ambassadors.
And Roshan.
My name is Roshan, and I'm a junior in Industrial and Systems Engineering, and I'm also an ISE Ambassador.
Great, thanks. I just got so excited to get started. So thank you all for introducing yourselves. So now we're going to talk about the undergraduate program, and I'm going to pass it to Dr. Van Aken, who will talk about that topic.
Yes, so it's great to be with everyone tonight virtually. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what industrial and systems engineering is and what we mean by that. And so we rely on a definition that really comes from our overall professional society, the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers. And, you know, if you think about all engineers do something related to design, all engineers design things. And the kind of thing that we design as industrial and systems engineers is complex work systems or production systems that are comprised of people, materials, information, equipment and technology, energy, also processes and procedures. And so if you think about, for example, engineers that might design a car, an industrial engineer would really be concerned with how do we design the production system to make the car, to manufacture it. So how does all the people and all the materials get to the right place, the right time, the right layout to optimize costs, like in other words, reduce the cost and improve quality, and also have employee safety and customer satisfaction. So there's a lot of aspects of performance of a system that we are concerned with. And we apply the methodologies, the engineering and science that we learn in our curriculum to many different kinds of application areas. So our students go to work, as you'll see here, and also later in consulting. They do this work in manufacturing, as I implied earlier, with, you know, a factory to make cars. But we also do the work we do within health systems like hospitals and retail and financial companies, logistics. And so it's a very broad discipline, as Maggie mentioned earlier, for where ISEs can apply the skills that they have. So a unique feature is really a strong focus on people and how they are part of the work systems that we design. So how people interact with technology, with information, with processes, etc. And another distinguishing feature for what ISEs do is we love to figure out how to improve things. So we not only design work systems, but we're always using our structured, our mathematical tools and our optimization and our just sort of systems view and lens that we wear to figure out how to improve things, whether that's employee safety or customer satisfaction or costs or productivity or efficiency. And so those are some of the ways that we define what we do as industrial engineering as a discipline. And so again, if you really like focusing on people, if you like the business and management aspects of processes and use of resources, these are things that, you know, we would certainly be concerned with within our discipline. And so if you look at some of the things that are, you know, unique about ISE at Virginia Tech, I think we're going to have Evelyn talk next about what makes ISE, our department and our undergraduate program, unique. And those are some of the things we'll try to highlight throughout this briefing.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Van Aken. So now that you've heard a little more about ISE, you're probably wondering what makes ISE at Virginia Tech so unique and special. To start off, the ISE program at Virginia Tech is consistently ranked one of the top ISE programs in the country. Currently, we are ranked number 4 according to the U.S. News and World Report, which we are very proud of within our department. Our program has 4 key skill areas, those being manufacturing, operations research, human factors and ergonomics, and management systems. All ISE students take classes covering all of the 4 skill areas, and these areas overlap a lot with subject matters such as mathematics, statistics, accounting and economics, and psychology. Now, I'll dive a little deeper into some of our key areas. First, we have manufacturing. This skill works on the design and improvement of manufacturing and production facilities and how they are operated. This includes the participation in machine selection, facility layout, production planning and scheduling, quality control, and more. Many students interested in this area go to work for companies like Volvo, Ford, GE, and basically any company with a manufacturing plant, distribution center, hospitals, and many more places. Here's an example of manufacturing in action. This video shows how the production process of a very high-end car, such as a BMW, can be performed with minimal or no human interaction through its many production stages. That is, from the frame production all the way to the interior installation. At Virginia Tech, students taking our industrial automation and industrial robotic classes are presented with the latest results in these fields to be extremely competitive in a fast-paced job market. And next up, we have our other skill area, which is operations research. This skill area deals with the application of advanced mathematical methods to help make better decisions. This includes stuff like vehicle routing, flight scheduling, locating facilities, and theme park ride queues, and more. The next slide will show more about some of the applications of OR in real life and jobs that some ISEs do. On the top left, you can see UPS trucks where ISEs help with package delivery routing. On the top right, you can see an airplane where airlines use ORs to kind of help plan their flight crew, flight paths, protect passengers, and to even set prices. And on the bottom left, as I talked about theme parks before, is Disney, where they leverage OR in a lot of aspects, from the cleanliness of performers' costumes every day to the lines and the food selection and many more on their parks. And on the bottom right, we have Humanitarian Relief Agency, which uses OR and analytics to help plan for disasters. So now I'm going to pass it off to Roshan to talk about the other 2 skill areas.
Thanks, Evelyn. So the third skill area is human factors and ergonomics. And you might be wondering what the heck ergonomics is. Ergonomics is the design or evaluation of products, tasks, systems, or environments to reduce injury or increase productivity. And so a lot of this sector is focused on the design of everyday objects, including laptops, chairs, and then even into like biomechanics, as you can see in this picture of some research in skeletal structure and how we can improve productivity and reduce injury in a workplace environment. And so we use these observations to design systems that increase efficiency, and well-being. And this can go through the physical aspects of design as well as the physical human body aspects as well. And so we have a nice video example of some of the research that's done here at Virginia Tech regarding human factors and ergonomics.
There is only one exoskeleton of this kind in the whole world right now. The exoskeleton itself is made by Sarcos Robotics. They're a company in Salt Lake City. So trying to figure out how it impacts the human and how the design needs to be tuned in a micro or a macro way, depending on the human impacts, that's the part where Virginia Tech comes in. So where exactly in your organization would it make sense to utilize some technology like this is something we're looking into. There are basically motors at most major joints in your body for every degree of freedom that you can power with your human body is now also powered by the exoskeleton. Right now, the exoskeleton can afford you to do tasks that are impossible for you to perform without the exoskeleton. For example, somebody like me, if I were a little bit taller, could get into the exoskeleton and manipulate a 100-pound load, which is unimaginable for me without it. What we have learned with testing with the team is that the more the load you take off, you might be reducing physical loading, but you're sort of increasing the control effort. As a human, you're so used to feeling load and activating your muscles based on that if you don't feel any load, that sort of sets back how well you're able to control what you're manipulating. So we sort of tweak how much load you feel from a variety of angles.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie. The fourth area in the ISE department is management systems. And so management systems encompasses, as Dr. Van Aken was talking about, a lot of that people interaction and organizations and the structure of organizations. And so here we design and improve management systems to be used in businesses, and this includes everything from operations management to strategic planning. And as Evelyn was talking about, different transdisciplinary approaches are used, from psychology to economics to accounting and a lot more. And the main goal is to create performance measures to create more effective, efficient organizations. And so the next slide, we're going to talk about some of the cool research and applications that us as students and faculty are able to do in this sector. So first off, we have Professor Navid, and he created a COVID-19 simulation. And this was actually used and developed along with collaboration from people from all sorts of departments here at Virginia Tech over the summer to predict and help model what coming back to school would look like in the fall. And it included factors such as the number of health announcements we would have, the testing capacity, and various other factors. And it's actually really cool. You can use a slider to track different variables in a way, or put different multipliers on them and simulate and see how it would affect returning to campus and the health of Blacksburg and the community. And this was utilized heavily by the president of Virginia Tech and the administration team to just sort of analyze what the best way to return to campus is. Another cool application is, as seniors, we work on senior design projects, and one of them worked in the healthcare industry with Duke Health, and they worked to optimize room scheduling and improve efficiency and staffing and time studies, and really just create a more efficient system. And I'll hand it back over to Dr. Van Aken to talk about the curriculum.
Thank you, Roshan. So that gives you more information about the competencies or skill areas that we focus on for our students and what they can do once they graduate. So how we actually make that happen with our courses is shown in the next couple slides. So of course, as you can know, for any engineering degree, there's the foundations with math and computer programming and physics and chemistry. And in our case, for industrial and systems engineers, with the kinds of systems that we are analyzing and modeling and designing, the world is not always has a lot of certainty. So our students have to understand a lot of probability and then also statistics to be able to help them with having the toolkit that they need to design such work systems. So we actually take 2 full semesters of probability and then statistics in our curriculum. We also have what we call general ISE courses that are not in any one of the 4 areas that we've already mentioned, but rather kind of span a number of them. And so that includes an introductory course to our department and our discipline, engineering economy, so understanding the time value of money, a data management class. So that's of course a great focus, now with data science revolution. So our students certainly learn about how to manipulate ubiquitous data. And then we also have a technical communication class that is very new for our department, and that really spans all the areas that our students need to apply their skills in. We have a series of different kinds of electives. All of our engineering programs do. So that includes what we call ISE technical electives, where you can really focus in on one of the areas that might be of great interest, like ergonomics or lean manufacturing, for example. We have technical and engineering science electives, where students might take courses in other departments in engineering or in the College of Science. And we have even free electives. And then we have our pathways electives, our general education electives that students have lots of choices. And many of our minors that Maggie will talk about later, really satisfy these different electives if a student plans ahead well enough. So there's quite a bit of flexibility for students to be able to satisfy these electives with a lot of choices. In the next slide, you'll see the particular names of courses that fit in those 4 areas. So in manufacturing, there's a hands-on lab class that students take, and we'll show you a picture a little bit later. We have a facilities planning and a facilities layout and facility logistics class that is really fundamental for students, a production planning class where you learn about scheduling and materials requirements planning and all kinds of cool things for how we can schedule work within a work system, and then a quality control class that students take. Those are in the manufacturing area. And then we have required courses in operations research, where there's a special kind of modeling and optimization toolkit that students apply. And then a simulation class where you can play a lot of what-if scenarios with a computer model versus before you might implement it in an actual work system. That's a very fundamental skill for an industrial engineer. And then we have our human factors and ergonomics classes, both the more cognitive side of human factors with like augmented reality, virtual reality, user-centered design, things like that, as well as the more physical industrial ergonomics, so like the biomechanics and occupational safety kinds of topics that are in those classes. And then lastly, in management systems, the main required classes are Capstone Senior Design class, which is a 2-semester sequence that we think is a really fundamental culminating experience for our students, where they get to apply many of the things that they've learned earlier in the curriculum. And Maggie will talk a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Dr. Van Aken. So our Senior Design Capstone is a really special experience for our students, as Dr. Van Aken just mentioned. It's the opportunity for them to practically apply the knowledge and skills they've learned, where they work on a team with 4 or 5 students, they have a faculty advisor, and they have a real-world client and project scenario. They work on this over the course of 2 semesters, and it culminates in a formal presentation that we call Senior Symposium. These are photographs from 2019, and then in 2020 and upcoming next month, we've had so far very successful online senior symposiums. One of our teams from last year too went on to take their project to the national level, and they were featured at the IISE National Conference, and they won first place. So that was really exciting for some of our students in our program. Another part of our program that makes it special is the flexibility that allows for students to pursue other interest areas. So almost half of our students will pursue a minor, which is really great. They expand their knowledge and interests. So some of those minors will be complementary to engineering and other disciplines or the sciences, but some of our students choose to pursue other interests as well. Some are listed here, but they might be in the liberal arts or humanities, which is great. And then another component of our program is our experiential learning, so more of that hands-on component. So our students have a wonderful opportunity to do undergraduate research, and about a third of them will do it in some form or another. So whether that's for academic credit, as a volunteer, or sometimes for pay. Some example projects are listed on this slide, but this spring alone, we had 27 total projects and 39 students doing research, which is really great. And these two photos, the top one is our students presenting from 2019 on their undergraduate research, and then the lower photo is an emotive robot in Dr. Gion's lab called the Mind, Music, and Machine Lab. I believe the robot's name is Penny, but I could be wrong. And a lot of our students will work with Dr. Gion in the Mind, Music, Machine Lab. And now I'm going to pass it back to Dr. Van Aken, who will talk specifically about two of our labs.
Yeah, so we find that students are often really interested in learning about what labs they can work in and where the hands-on instructional activities are. So in addition to the undergrad research opportunity, which can be an elective, can satisfy a technical elective for our students if they take it for credit, we also have our Harris Manufacturing Processes Lab, which is a sophomore 1-credit class that is just the lab only. And we actually teach this class to mechanical, materials and science engineering, and industrial and systems engineering. So we have hundreds of students every semester taking this class. And we're showing a picture here of one part of the facility. This is kind of the largest room in the facility, but in this class, students get to do sand casting and welding, and they do machining on a lathe, and all kinds of other hands-on activities, so that they really understand the manufacturing processes that they will help design as an engineer once they leave Virginia Tech. And here is a little demonstration of a gear that you get to machine on the lathe in this hands-on manufacturing processes lab class. So it's very unique to still have such a hands-on class where every student literally gets to operate the piece of equipment, and in a very safe environment. We're very proud of that record. And so it's quite unique that we still have this opportunity for our students, and not just ISEs, but 2 other departments as well. So the next facility that I want to share with you is what we call the Learning Factory. So this is a hands-on instructional lab that is not part of a required class, but it's actually a facility where students that are doing their undergraduate research projects, or some of our capstone students might be working in this lab. We might have some of our elective courses utilize this lab, this facility as well. And so it really highlights Industry 4.0 technology, such as sensors and additive manufacturing or 3D printers. We have collaborative robots. You can see the orange one there on the left. And we also have a couple mobile robots in this facility. So, and up in the observation room is where we have a digital twin that we model and can see what's going on in the factory below via software and a platform. So it's a really nice facility to be able to have students really learn about, advanced manufacturing techniques and Industry 4.0. And so I'm going to turn it over next to Paula to talk about some aspects of the ISE community.
Thank you, Dr. Van Aken. Before we get started, for those of you who are curious about this picture, this is a picture of one of our faculty members, Dr. Joe Gabbard. He is with a group of students in the Cognitive Engineering for Novel Technologies lab. They're showing off their virtual reality goggles, and they look like they're having a pretty good time doing it. So anyway, we'll go ahead and move on here. First, we'll cover the ISE leadership. The department is led by Dr. Eileen Van Aken, who has had a long career in the department. She started as an undergraduate student and then graduate student. Dr. Van Aken has since served the department as an associate department head, assistant department head, undergraduate program director, and professor. She assumed leadership of the department in 2016 as interim department head and then became the department head in 2018. Dr. John Shuchuk, the Associate Department Head and Undergraduate Program Director, Dr. John Shuchuk, came to the ISE department 25 years ago from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and he has been in his current position for almost 3 years now. We have over 40 faculty members in the department from 10 countries, including Iran, Spain, China, South Korea, India, and of course Canada. In addition to their teaching duties, they conduct research in 24 labs and bring in over $5 million per year in research grants. The ISD department has 2 undergraduate academic advisors, Ms. Maggie Johnson and myself, Ms. Paula Van Curen. Ms. Johnson and I provide guidance and support to our undergraduate students in a number of ways, including, but not limited to, navigating the ISE curriculum, creating a plan of study using the ISE check sheet, answering questions, policies and procedures regarding transfer credits, working with students seeking co-op and internships or study abroad opportunities, and meeting with students interested in continuing their studies in a master's degree or direct to PhD program. In many of these cases, we refer those students to our graduate program advisor, Ms. Hannah Parks, who is actually pictured here with me and Maggie. She's on the left. Some information on our undergraduate students. Currently, we have 634 undergraduates in the major. 33% of them are women, 18% are international students, 14% are from underrepresented groups, 9% are first-generation students, and 7% are transfer students. The ISE department is very committed to creating and maintaining a diverse and inclusive community. Part of that commitment is demonstrated in several objectives initiated by the ISE Diversity and Inclusion Committee, which is comprised of ISE faculty, staff, graduate, and undergraduate students. And a few of these objectives are listed on this slide. Okay, we're going to start covering student opportunities within the department. And the first one we're going to cover is study abroad. I am, in addition to being the academic undergraduate advisor, I'm also the study abroad advisor for the department. So I'll cover this a little bit. The ISE department is committed to encouraging students to take advantage of the many education abroad opportunities available at Virginia Tech. To that end, the department has established an exchange agreement with the Pontifical Catholic University of Paraná in Brazil. Okay, this university has an outstanding engineering department and offers pre-approved ISE and statistics courses that can be transferred back to Virginia Tech. Last year, in the 2019 to 2020 academic year, we had 4 students study over there. They absolutely loved it. Their only regret was that they couldn't spend another semester there. And we hope to have more students go in the future once the pandemic is behind us. Students, however, are not limited to that exchange program, of course. Our students have traveled to every continent on the planet, I think with the exception of Antarctica. These trips can be as short as a 1-week service learning abroad program during spring break, or it could be a full academic year at university. And the department also supports international travel through scholarships and travel grants. And when you combine these with the financial aid and scholarships that are awarded by the Virginia Tech, by the university and by the College of Engineering, studying abroad can be very affordable for most students. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Evelyn, who's going to cover the rest of the student opportunities in the department.
Thank you, Paula. So as you can see from this slide, there's lots of different ways to get involved within the ISE department here. One of the main clubs that our undergraduate students join are Iisc Ise Ambassadors and Alpha Pi Mu. Iisc is a professional development club. Ise Ambassadors are what me and Roshan are a part of currently, why we're presenting you today, where we help assist with the department. And Alpha Pi Mu is our Iisc Honor Society that is national. And then you can see the clubs below, which get a little more specific in the skill areas and include both undergraduate and graduate students. So if you are interested and you know what you want to do as an undergrad, you can get a head start and join these clubs and kind of delve more into your skill area. We also have 19% of our students volunteer, whether within the ISE department, the College of Engineering, or Virginia Tech, and we have 78% of our students attend professional conferences or senior symposium like Maggie talked about prior. And as you can see from this slide, there's lots of companies that hire ISEs. To name a few, there's Disney, Walmart, Deloitte, PepsiCo, Devil's Backbone Brewing, and a lot more on this slide and a lot more outside of this slide who hire ISEs. 83% of our students do an internship or co-op during their 4 years or 5 years here, and 14% even intern internationally, which is really exciting. So as you can see, a lot of companies hire ISEs, and now Roshan will talk a little more about what ISEs do following graduation.
Yeah, thanks, Evelyn. And so, as you can see on this slide, 84% of graduates start a full-time job. And this is like my absolute favorite thing to talk about, of just how broad our major is and how you can take it almost anywhere. Like if you're interested in it, you can find a way to get involved utilizing the skills in ISE to apply it to that job. So 26% get involved with consulting, 13% manufacturing, 13% logistics, 9% banking and finance, 3% government, 3% healthcare, 3% military. And it's so broad that there's 34% that we don't fully know where exactly they go and what they do, because you can apply it to absolutely every field. Like I have friends in computer science who are more in the aerospace field, who are more in the energy field, all who are ISEs. And I think it's so awesome to see that like transdisciplinary approach, and everyone has unique goals and visions with where they want to take this unique skill set. 11% of students also go on to attend graduate school, and then 5% are undecided. And there's a median starting salary of $70,000, which is really, really comparable to a lot of the other engineering degrees here at Virginia Tech, and it's a great foundation to start off right out of college. So we're going to play this quick video to talk about career opportunities in ISE.
Different companies. I started off working for NASA Langley, then I did a co-op with GE Aviation, then GE Transportation, then I actually went to England on a joint research project between Virginia Tech and the University of Nottingham, and did driving simulator research over there for a summer. Then I worked for Bank of America, and this summer I'll work for General Motors. All human factors related research and jobs. And I also work for a local startup called Redshift Education, where we design virtual reality for high school education. I'm the user experience researcher and lead, so I get to design all the user experience and really get hands-on into this lesson development for VR, because I'm really, really passionate about education as well as user experience. So it's kind of a perfect fit for me. When I came to Virginia Tech.
And so I think that's just, you could hear all the different opportunities Kieran had to just use her skill set and apply from a wide variety of companies and industry to research. And on the right over here, we have just amazing companies and different titles, as Evelyn was talking about. We have everything from software engineers to process engineers to consulting to manufacturing engineers to even robotics and even healthcare. And I think it just shows how broad this field is. Finally, we love our alumni and the alumni network here at Virginia Tech. ISE alumni love to help out other ISE students, and I've been able to network and connect with a bunch of other ISE students. We're going to hear what Lauren has to say about ISE.
So, why I love ISE, when I was thinking about it, I felt like the best way to compare ISE was looking at this like insane, complex pocket knife, utility knife thing where it just has like all the functionality in one. I just really feel like we have a baseline knowledge to be able to tackle anything. For my role in performance services, I have people reaching out to me all the time from all 14 hospitals, from all different types of roles. So whether it's a CEO, a nurse, a manager, a patient safety officer, people will ask like, hey, I have this ask, do you know who can do it? And more often than not, it's something that an ISE can do. So I know I personally still have a lot to learn, but just having the baseline knowledge that you get as an ISE is so incredible. And I really do think that my customers see the value in that.
Awesome. And I'm going to hand it back over to Maggie to wrap it up.
Thank you, Roshan. Thank you, everyone, tonight. So just to pull it back together, you've heard about our program, our people, and the opportunities that are available in the ISE department. In addition to the $1.8 million in scholarships that the College of Engineering has, our department also has $160,000 that we give out annually for merit and needs-based scholarships, including some scholarships that are specifically for students from underrepresented backgrounds. So we are very fortunate to be able to support our students in that way. And then a few more voices from our program. India says she loves ISE because she grew up in a business-minded background, but also had a love for math and science. Aziz says that ISE is the most unique engineering program. And Karishma says, which I love, she loves ISE because it's emphasizes the idea that engineers are creative problem solvers. So hopefully you've got the picture of that throughout today's program. So we're really happy to open it up to questions now. I know we have ways to keep in touch with us, so hopefully you can screenshot this slide. If you'd like to check out more ISE specific programming at the Engineering Open House, you can scan the QR code or stay in touch with us through the other ways. So, as the questions come in, we will happily answer them. So please feel free to ask us questions. And while some come in, I hope this doesn't put them too on the spot, but I'm wondering if Evelyn and Roshan will share just really quickly why you chose ISE. Roshan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think I came into Virginia Tech wanting to do civil or mainly civil engineering actually, and I just met ISEs in absolutely every activity because ISEs love to get involved. So on a design team I was on, there was an ISE who was a mentor. Even on my intramural soccer team, there was an ISE who was a mentor, and even my campus ministry, I met an ISE who was an ambassador as well. And through talking to all of them, it really was like that home feel. Like we say at Virginia Tech, like this is home. And in trying it out and hearing it and just seeing how involved and how much love the people have towards you and where you want to go with how broad the major is, it's so awesome and encouraging. And it's just been a blast and I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm here.
Thanks, Roshan. Evelyn.
So I always loved business, but I couldn't ignore the fact that I liked calculus and physics a lot too. So when I came here as an engineer, I kind of wanted to find the discipline that would have the combination of both of those. And when I went to the freshman information session for ISE, I knew that this was the major for me. Everyone there had this kind of dual mentality where they were so intelligent, they were so well versed, they loved their education, but they also had that mindset where they could talk to people. And I love the combination of that. And then with that comes the breadth of opportunities where you can fit in anywhere because you have that combination of that business mindset with the problem solving that comes with engineering, and the mesh of the both are what really dragged me in. And what's kept me is the curriculum and the people, which I think we talked a little bit about this, but a quick plug to the students in the undergraduate program that I know, but they're some of the best people I know. So intelligent, so encouraging, and everyone's very uplifting. So at any point when I've ever felt low, being an engineer with hard coursework, they've been there to help me and have been super collaborative. So that's something I will say about our program that I've really enjoyed since being in it.
Thank you. Thank you both. I'll kind of echo that from the faculty staff side. It's been so wonderful to be a part of this community. Paula has taught me so much in my 3 years of advising, and so has Dr. Van Aken and my other colleagues, Dr. Shuchuk, and the students. I learn from them every day too, which is so great. So still feel free to put questions in the Q&A. If any come in, we're happy to answer them. I'm not sure if microphones work in the webinar format, so if not, if they do, feel free to use that. If not, we'll stick with the chat box. But to give a little more background, so since you all would be coming in, finishing high school, the first year students spend in the general engineering program, and Evelyn mentioned first year student info sessions. So you will get the wonderful opportunity to explore all the programs at Virginia Tech that you'd like in the College of Engineering. So it is a great way that we connect with first year students is through those info sessions. But the student organizations that we mentioned as well, IISE, Ambassadors, and the topic specific organizations welcome first year students as well. So even before you might officially be an ISE, you could get connected and meet other ISE students. So once you spend about 1 year, 2 semesters in general engineering, you can declare your major and then officially be an ISE. Dr. Van Aken, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to?
Yeah, I did. I was just going to offer that one of the things, like our student organizations really offer a lot of events and activities for the benefit of all students in the department. So, of course, our ambassadors really support the department to help us with recruiting and give us feedback on curriculum and a lot of other things that they do. Our IISE student chapter has an annual leadership conference that they organize that any student can attend, and so we have a lot of focus on developing leadership capabilities and awareness and understanding. We also have a peer mentoring program that our honor society organizes for all students, not just members of the honor society. So it's peer mentoring, and they also pair up students who want with an alumni, so there's an alumni student mentoring program as well. And so we really feel strongly that support system, to have lots of avenues to reach out for support and guidance and coaching and feedback is really helpful for our students. So those are some of the things that our student organizations do, and I'm really proud of IISE. They're really known around the country as one of the best led and managed and organized and largest chapters in the country, and our Alpha Pi Mu chapter has won best national chapter in the entire country for many years running, including the most recent year. So they really do a lot of things. It's not just something that they induct new members, which they were doing tonight, earlier this evening actually, but they actually do a lot of things that benefit other students in the department and really engage students with faculty, lots of fun ways for them to interact outside of just the classroom.
And that reminded me of our alumni network when you were talking about the mentoring. Our ISE alumni network is very strong. The Hokie Nation alumni network is very strong. You can go, like Paula said, 7 continents and find a Hokie. Mm-hmm. So it's really great that if you do choose Virginia Tech, and then we hope you choose ISE, you will have a support system around you well beyond your 4 years here or more here. So. Trying to think if there's anything else we might wrap up with to leave on the attendees' minds.
I was going to say one other thing that our student organizations offer is professional certification training through our national IISE organization. So students can get a Six Sigma green belt or a lean green belt, and now this year for the first time a certified Scrum Master training. And so these are all designed to help students be even more marketable and appealing to employers that really reach out to hire Virginia Tech engineers. And many of them do come back year after year to hire our graduates, and that's one of the things that our students have the opportunity to do. And we also offer full scholarships to those that have need and wish to apply, because those certainly can be at some cost, and we don't want to make it not accessible to a group of students if they have need to help support the cost of those certification training. So we also offer that.
Great. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. We're at the end of our session. So hopefully we answered all your questions during the presentation. We're happy to hear from you any point between now and hopefully when you arrive as an ISE student in the future. But thank you all for coming.
Good evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have a great evening.